Hello folks, welcome to another daily Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Jesus, again, it's not the daily one. Okay, but it's almost daily, but it's not daily. Okay, then again. Hello folks, welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Now it is perfect. Well, first of all, not a lot of things that I noticed today on Twitter because recently I have started to be more active, and that will be something hopefully common again, to be more active on Twitter and also to check some news, to make some research and so on and so forth. So officially I have started today again with Twitter, where we can interact a little bit, because now I have just a little bit more time, and obviously I will provide my analysis every second day. You know that, or at least I have mentioned that just last week. From next week on, I will be off for 2 weeks because of vacation, and not sure if I'm going to tweet, or I guess maybe some tweets, but I will be not front of the screen all the time, so don't expect any big content, but afterwards. Anyway, today we can talk about two things. One thing is really funny. I'm sorry if you are maybe a fan of him. Maybe you are. Then it's your mistake. But I was just really, and to be honest, it's not new. It's absolutely not new. It seems, but it was surprising me because I thought really it's a joke. Watch a Guru, something I don't like, this Twitter account, because I have some references to them, but however, headline just in: YouTuber BitBoy Ben Armstrong has been fired from his company BitBoy Crypto, citing financial damage and substance abuse. Abuse? However, I'm not native speaker English, so it is what it is. What the fuck? So if you are reading then the tweets of BitBoy Crypto, yesterday, BJ Investment Holdings, the parent company of Hit Network, took decisive legal action and removing Ben Armstrong from his company, so from the company, and specifically the BitBoy Crypto brand. What? Okay. This difficult decision is a culmination of a prolonged effort to help Ben during his relapse into substance abuse, as well as reconcile the emotional, physical, and financial damage he has done to the employees of Hit Network and the BitBoy Crypto community. To be honest, I really don't have any fucking clue what happened. I really don't know. But it's not new that BitBoy was just shitting shit all the time. He was just one of the biggest scam promoters on Twitter. So, but that's not new. But the most important thing here is emotional, physical, and financial damage he has done to the employees of Hit Network and the BitBoy Crypto community. Well, physical to the BitBoy Crypto community, I don't think he just walked around and started to share some slabs in New York or somewhere else. It seems they are just really, that's a mention that he just were extremely crude to his own employees. That's something, wow, that's another level of being an asshole, to be honest. it's obviously just my opinion, but that's really crazy. That's really crazy. But also, to be fair with you, thanks God, one less. Yeah, because he used the situation with Sam Bankman-Fried, and I remember he wasn't not just really a little bit better than Sam. So I don't like to say that, but well deserved. Anyway, it's really crazy. It's really crazy because BitBoy, he is BitBoy Crypto, and they fired him from his own company. Well, it's not the first time that happens, right? It's not the first time that happens, but yeah, I thought just to share my opinion with you guys would be nice. It seems they announced this just a few hours ago, and I was a little bit shocked, but now I'm a little bit happy because when I'm talking about toxic people related to crypto, he was one of them. And so, yeah, what should I say? Maybe he is a good guy, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I guess not. It is what it is. And the second thing is, well, I was just mentioning that, for example, I was noticing, and that's what I tweeted today. I mean, I tweeted a little bit also about my opinion, what should happen in the market, my long-term trend bitch line, because that's how I call this trend line. It's a bitchy trend line. It's where we will notice some sharp price moves to the upside or downside, and even just to liquidate in short term. But that's what this trend line it's a magnet for such operations. So and we are coming closer now. Everything looks like a retest. I mean, if you check here, that's my 18 hours chart here. If you check, we had here, that was the initiation of the next sharp price move to the upside. And usually what I'm expecting always is to go down, retest, and to show a solid trend. It didn't happen. Some of you will remember that I say, wow, what the fuck, not even retesting it. But if we make this here, that could be a retest that fades and push up even more, because that's what this trend line does. But, and that's the problem, we could have a bear trap first and go up, or we can bounce and go hard down. And that's the big problem I have with this trend line. It is always a good magnet for such, you remember we were dancing around this trend line for a while, pushing down hard, pushing up hard, pushing down hard, and then finally breaking up without any kind of retest. So it looks like that could be the next level to visit between 22.5 and 23. One follower just said, yeah, 22 would be possible, but I would expect a retest of 27.5 first. I agree with that. And that's what I said just last week. I would consider to see a retest of 27.5 first. Anyway, that's one thing that I have tweeted today, but the most important one was, at least for me, is to see what Bitget is doing. Because we can see outflow. So 5,346 Bitcoins outflow from Bitget. Then you can see it just happened 16 minutes later. Inflow, exactly the same amount. Okay, it happens once, that's fine. Then it happens just 1.5 hours later, again, outflow 5,537 Bitcoins from Bitget. 11 minutes later, inflow 5,538 bitcoins to Bybit. So the net flow is neutral. It's just, it looks like a little bit wash trading. It could be rebalancing, but that's not the point here. We'll continue. You see here, we had first an outflow, afterwards an inflow, outflow, inflow, then the opposite case. 6,158 bitcoins outflow, and that was also, voila, 3.5 hours later, and then just 30 minutes later, an outflow of exact the same amount. Now we could say, yeah, okay, why does that matter? Because of that here. If we check whale alert, that's one of the most known provider of such kind of transaction moves. You can look for it, but the only thing you will find is only the outflows, not the inflows, and only 2 of them and not all 3. You are missing the 6,000, what was that? 6,158 bitcoins, right? But the thing is, usually, like Whale Alert, they are using algorithm. They are using, for example, they are tagging wallets of centralized exchanges where they know that they are in hands of a certain centralized exchange like Binance, Bybit, Bitfinex, or whatever, and they are tracking their moves. The most interesting part is, and that's why I really like to use, for example, that's part of my daily analysis, Live NetFlow Premium. That's really an app that's really, really interesting. Not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's almost impossible to have just a wallet tracker that's perfect, because exchanges can just create a new wallet, for example, like Coinbase did in 2021 many times, where everything was looking extremely bullish, showing huge outflows, and it wasn't. It was neutral. It wasn't bullish. They were just using new wallets. No one of these wallet trackers, Whale Alert, we have different and several of them, even CryptoQuant and some others are tracking all these wallets. They didn't tag these wallets yet to the centralized exchanges, so it was looking very bullish, and many were thinking someone else was buying bitcoins. The problem that I have with Live NetFlow Premium, and that's why I say it's a little problem, is they are also classifying, and maybe it's solid and it's correct. The big question is what's behind. That's something obviously this website can't show you, but it's when, for example, it happened just 2 weeks ago when we have a huge outflow coming from Coinbase, 10,000 bitcoins. Usually, it's only related to spot exchanges. So we are not talking about derivative. It's not someone that is using their bitcoins for Bitcoin collateral futures and just taking or cashing out their bitcoins from derivative exchange. It's only spot. We are talking about Binance Spot. We are talking about Bitfinex and Bybit. So no perp at all. Okay, because you can obviously, if you know how these centralized exchanges work, you can tag relatively good. The thing that Live NetFlow Premium doesn't separate is when those bitcoins are coming, for example, from a cold wallet. Usually, when someone is withdrawing their bitcoins that they purchased on the centralized exchanges, usually those bitcoins are coming from a hot wallet. We have a difference between cold wallet and a hot wallet. So usually you would see something like Binance hot wallet to unknown address. That looks very solid, and it gives you an indication that someone were buying, and they are just now, after the purchase operation, taking out these bitcoins to its own and personal wallet, even maybe a cold wallet. So, and we had this exactly the same example with those 10,000 Bitcoins. And the problem is they are showing you here only net flows. Net flow, you know, it's outflow minus inflow. Outflow minus inflow. So we received 5,000 Bitcoins. No, sorry. We had an outflow of 5,000 Bitcoins, but we received 3,000 Bitcoins. The net flow is 2,000 Bitcoins in favor of outflows. Usually something that's bullish. Okay, to spot means an outflow. Someone is taking out the central this Bitcoins from centralized exchanges, and usually because he purchased those there. The thing is, some of these, for example, also Coinbase, are also offering custodian services. Means you are a whale, you have 20,000 Bitcoins, and they are just providing you a cold wallet where your Bitcoins are safe. You pay a fee for that, and that's it. Okay, you know, yeah, it's not your key, but it's, you know, a big centralized exchange where you trust in them, and they are offering, hey, I can park your car in my garage, and if you need your car back, I will give you your car back at any time. It's available for you. It's almost the same, but for Bitcoin. But when you see 10,000 Bitcoins withdrawing from a Coinbase cold wallet, that's usually not an indication that someone purchased those 10,000 Bitcoins from or on Coinbase. They are just withdrawing those 10,000 Bitcoins from its custodian service. That's neutral and can be even be bearish, because it's an indication maybe that someone is not trusting on Coinbase anymore, and I would prefer to take all my Bitcoins to my personal cold wallet. It's just a theory, obviously, but that's the problem we have here with this website. In my opinion, one of the best when it comes to NetFlow, really. And they have a Telegram account. The name is the same. Let me check, but it's the same. Yeah, it is. It's BTC in out alert. And underline admin. Underline admin? No, that's the admin. Yeah, that's stupid. Sometimes I'm a little bit, however. But BTC in out alert. And you will find them there on Telegram. And they have a tracker. And that's where I did this screenshot with all these Bybit transactions. It's the best method to verify what whale alert is showing on Twitter, for example. Because I don't know, I know the founder, the owner of BTC In and Out. It's an Italian guy. We had some chats in the past. I like him very much. He is absolutely unbiased, really absolutely unbiased, and also pro Bitcoin. And to be honest, he and his team did a very good job. Anyway, so but that's the problem we only have here. We don't know if these outflows are solid. Of for example, a hidden bank run is happening. That could be also an indication when we are seeing, and that's not the first time. That's why I like to use their Telegram account at the same time, because you are receiving a little bit more information about where all those Bitcoins are coming from. It's hot wallet, it's cold wallet, and if it's cold wallet, then to make a research and to take a look, hey, okay, who is doing it and what is the destination wallet, for example. Just to explain why I was a little bit wondered about this gap between whale alert, where it's only showing the outflows, where it looks extremely bullish. When you see that within 4 hours someone were just almost buying 11,000 Bitcoin, that will just be the most trivial interpretation of those two of those two tweets. And I guess if we are going to check here, words are accumulating. Okay, huge dump alert. So Whaley, probably exchanges are trying to hold 26k. BitBoy is very bad idea. Okay, whatever. Pump, whatever. Usually the many people would start to think now that they are just okay. That's so much bullshit sometimes. But usually many people would see that and interpret that as bullish. You need to go a little bit forward, and if you want to have more hidden informations about these transactions, check their bit in out. Okay, it's not that easy. BTC in out alert on Telegram. You can do that. And that was wondering me a little bit, because you can imagine if someone knows that while alert is not tagging them, they are not tracking the new wallets, and they know that, they send just Bitcoins out, Bitcoins in, and they know that Whale Alert, one of the most popular whale tracker provider on Twitter, is only showing outflows and not inflows. It looks bullish. That's the point. We are done. Let us go forward. So then let us talk about weights ratio. The weights ratio is maintaining this very high level. I mean, we are still very close to 50%, almost at 50%. That's the weights ratio 30 days moving average. It's my own setup, or setting, because I don't know many who are using the 30 days moving average. And we see that yesterday, because it's always delayed by 1 day, we had 46 just before we were almost at 50, and just before we were at 70. Usually when the weights ratio 30 days moving average is that high, it's indicating preparation. It's just still indicating they're sending more Bitcoins. Not everything at once, as you can see, but it's still a trend, and this trend is still positive. It's like a channel that's lifting up. This year was more the opposite, and you remember what happened afterwards. So usually that's also indicating that we will go further down. Doesn't mean that we will go immediately afterwards down, because what they are doing is to liquidate the potential profit takers. That's how I said that today on Twitter as well. Profit takers. Why? For example, you are following me. You are paying attention to my analysis and weights ratio, and you say, okay, that looks really bearish. So let me just go short from here. And recently what they like to do is really sharp price move to the upside to liquidate all of them, and then maintain, distribute, and then go down. And I guess something like that will happen once again. So someone was saying, hey, 27.5 before 22. And I think, I also think that we should retest 27.5 before we fail and go down. But this market will absolutely surprise us. So we will see. If we check now the weights ratio 72 hours moving average, okay, we are talking about 72 hours moving average, and we see here it's at almost 90%. Also here it's high. It's indicating they are still sending more Bitcoins to centralized exchanges, or a lot of retailers buying. That could be also the opposite. At the same time, we see that the stablecoin reserves on centralized exchanges is just declining more. It's just declining. We are not seeing any reverse at the moment. We don't see that the trend for stablecoin reserves on central exchanges are lifting up. What we see is that they are maintaining the price. That's what they are doing. And every single time, you remember here where I said we will push up, we did it. And we went down. Why? They attract the price. They stop to send more bitcoins to centralized exchanges. In my opinion, just because I have the experience of tracking a lot of time all these just all these weights ratio patterns, that also just indicates that they stop. So I guess it's mainly driven by algorithm. They stop. They really attract the price. They stop to sell. They stop to send more bitcoins to centralized exchanges. They attract to push up the price, while just before, that's the preparation part, they send a lot of bitcoins to centralized exchanges. That's why we had a little dip here, another dip here, and then they push up, and then we have the big distribution afterwards. Because such kind of operations, it's just exit liquidity. They are just, attracting, triggering little FOMO, and selling afterwards. That's what they are doing. And right now you can see they are doing it once again. So we pushed up, and just at the same time they stopped to send more bitcoins to centralized exchanges. So at the moment it looks we should go a little bit more up. I guess I would consider to go up maybe to 26.5 or something like that. That's the net flow. CryptoQuant indicating nothing happened, and that's it. Let us go forward. So we were talking about the live net flow premium, and so I was just checking, for example, 5 days ago in my analysis, August 23rd, we had here almost 91,000 bitcoins negative. So 90,000 bitcoins outflow. Now we have 104,000 bitcoins outflow. Usually, once again, indicating it's huge bullish. That would be huge bullish, indicating that they were just accumulating, buying and buying and buying in the last 90 days. That's what it's indicating. But you remember what happened with FTX? You remember what happened with the net flow just before? It was extremely bullish. But not just because the price was bullish, the market was bullish. Because we know afterwards we nuked to 15K. It was just because those who had advantage information, they knew about the weak position and situation of FTX, they started just to shift or to take out their bitcoins from the centralized exchanges or centralized exchange of FTX. So the big question is, what we are seeing here is everything just a bank run happening that we are just not noticing? Or is that everything solid and extremely bullish? That's a big question. Because 15,000, it's not a lot. It's okay, it's fine. If we check here, you remember, they started to have bigger inflows. That was usually what I would consider like a preparation. And that was everything. And then afterwards they started to buy up, hitting 30K, and they didn't stop. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. I never have seen that. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So something is happening behind, and we are just not seeing that. Like here, for example, it just doesn't make sense what we see here. And that's that's a big problem I see at the moment, because if they are really just taking their bitcoins from centralized exchanges because they know that something big is going to happen, for example, like what happened to FTX, yeah, it will happen exactly the same. You will see that the Bitcoin balance on centralized exchanges are declining because they are just taking their bitcoins from the centralized exchanges. At the moment, it's really hard to say what exactly is happening behind. No one was at least related to NetFlow, was expecting such a move here because everything was extremely green, indicating there were just a little bit more inflows here, but everything was extremely green. And well, I don't know if CZ is right, and we have millions and over millions and millions of retailers just buying Bitcoin every day, and they triggered a lot of FOMO just to, to trigger a lot of retail purchase. Maybe that explains that, but I can't imagine that. I really can't imagine that. But however, it is what it is. It looks really strange at the moment, what they are doing. At least if we check Inkblock, it's the first time that it looks at least neutral. Usually we had a bearish balance, indicating we had more crypto coming in and a lot more fiat taking out, because that's USD in the last 24 hours. That's crypto world's inflows, outflows on exchanges. Now this time it's indicating we had here a net flow of 130 millions in crypto, indicating we received on centralized exchanges 130 millions more, but at the same time they sent 115 millions in USD also to centralized exchanges. We are not talking about euros, we are not talking about yen or whatever. So not that bad. In the last 12 hours, we see they sent 520 millions USD, and we had here, for example, 476 millions outflow. So it's almost neutral, a little bit more in favor. It would be also a bullish balance. BTC 370 millions in, but only 290 billions out. It's relatively neutral. It's fine. But at least for Bitcoin, that looks more bearish than bullish. XRP, guys, I don't know, but XRP is at least on Inkblock when we are talking about the whale funds in the last 12 hours. It's almost bullish. Someone is buying big XRP. It is what it is. And I'm really thinking, I am not sure if that's the best time, but to buy some XRP, but because it's always the same. Someone, it seems, they're accumulating XRP big. I'm not talking about, we are not talking about billions, but fear and greed unchanged, 39, so nothing happened here. I don't know why exactly on DeFi Llama we still now it shows up. Great. So we can see here in the last 7 days we had less liquidity on Binance, 360 millions. The monthly liquidity declined a lot. We remember we had even 1.5 billion. Now it's almost a half, 730 millions. If we check here, spot volume declined once again, but even the 24-hour open interest declined. We had almost always 8 to 9 billion. Now it's even below of 7 billions. And spot volume was almost always 2.3, 2.6 billion. So that's a nice average, but 24 hours open interest is taking a big hit. So customer range inflows, that's a new indicator. I really don't know what it means, but however, we can see that OKEx had this month a bad month with 120 millions less liquidity. Bitfinex, well, it's okay, 71 plus. Bybit, also here 330 millions less. Huobi 119 millions plus. KuCoin was also not a nice month for them, and so on and so forth. I can check if they, no, Coinbase is still not available, unfortunately, but they are just joining or adding more and more data here. I really like DeFi Llama, to be honest. So, and then crypto weights. Crypto weights is once again indicating that weights are mostly selling at 56.5% versus 43.5%. Just indicating when you see that they are not pushing hard down, it's because they just don't want to create any fear. It just means someone is distributing. Once again, it doesn't match with the net flow. You know, usually in distribution, you should see more red than green. But well, different data sources, it seems, different quality, data quality maybe that's the thing. BTC-TUSD declined. You remember we had almost 68, 65%. Now it's 55%. BTC-USD pairs started to lift up. Usually we had just 1%, 2%. Now we are talking about 10%. And BTC-USDT is taking a big hit because always it was, you know, after the king with almost 45, sometimes even 55, 50%, now 34%. That's absolutely so. It seems that some weights are just shifting more from stablecoins to fiat when it comes to sell and take profit. Also here, Binance always had 95, 96%. Exchange breakdown, now it's 89.6%, while Bitfinex is doing 10.4%. At least that's unchanged from our last analysis. And that's it here as well. We can check what is happening to the market caps of USDT, unchanged, almost to 82.8 billion, so it declined almost by 1 billion just in 26 days, while TUSD is receiving, and we are not talking about huge, you know, from 2.74 billion, now we are talking about 2.89 billion. It's absolutely not big at all, but yeah. If we check here, and that's the aggregated, stablecoin circulating supply, aggregated, but only for USDT, USDC, BUSD, and DAY. And if we check here, we can see that it lifted up just a little bit from 117 billion to, almost not even 100 millions, 256. 150, let us say 120 millions. So absolutely not big at all. But obviously, I mean, if we check that here, we can see that the development since April 2022 is not positive at all. I mean, the price just started to lift up from our 15K, 16K, what we did, whatever, and while the stablecoin supply is declining more and more and more. But yeah, that's it. So, aggregated futures, funding rate maintaining, lifting up a little bit, but just maintaining, looks relatively neutral. Close to be 0.01, indicating more, you know, it's, what is that? Yeah, it's still 0, but just indicating that the aggregated funding rate is a little bit more bullish than bearish. Open interest, leverage ratio, both lifting up. Yesterday they liquidated 20 bitcoins in longs and 58 in short. So nothing is happening, and obviously it looks like that we will have a sharp price move very soon because exchanges have to generate money. If we go now to blockchain Worstburs, where we had 70 to 30% long short ratio, and we see it's almost unchanged. 69 to 31, 1.6 billion in longs on Binance, and 726 millions in shorts on Binance. Almost the same related to Ethereum, and only here on Bitfinex we have an unchanged longs, but we received a little bit more shorts. Now it's funny because 2.4 billion versus 33 million, but that's never have changed. I no, at least I don't know why it's the case, but Bitfinex always had those 2 dot whatever billions. I think that's just hedging. They are selling spot and just hedging then with maybe Bitcoin collateral, or I think just futures. So that's almost it also from here, and now we go directly to options, where the website is still loading. Okay, load, perfect. Let me check here, and Jesus, bears fighting to hold 26k. Now bulls are more and more bringing 27k on the table. 27.5, you remember. So while bears are also ready to defend and fight to maintain 27k, but the magnet here at the moment is still 26, and they are preparing even 25 and 24 would be the last support area for for the bears here, while for the bulls still 30k. The GAX, the gamma exposure, is still at 50,000. It's not high at all. I mean, it gave us a little bit more space to the downside, but we could go to 25.5, for example, once again, and then I guess we would go more down. Maybe then the GAX would be neutral. But to be fair, we are talking about a range of 1 week. Usually we should check the 6 month, 3 month, to zoom out a little bit. If we go forward, we can check how the max pain for September is. It's still 27k. So nothing has changed, at least here at the moment. Now we can check what the strategies are doing. Let me check. We have the biggest one is bear put spread, bear diagonal, short risk reversal, and custom strategy. Except custom strategy, everything else is bearish. It tends to be bearish because bear put spread sometimes, or bear diagonal spread sometimes, it doesn't look that bearish. Okay. So if we go forward here, we can check bear put spread as the first one, and that's here, and we see 5 sides. Okay, at least we have one that's big, and this guy, or whoever, this trader is indicating making a bet and saying that until November 24th he see a price below of 21k. That's what he's saying. And the whole trade is making almost 110 in premium, so he paid. Everything else looks a little bit like retail, but sometimes it seems it's always the same trade here: 24, 25, 5, 24, 25, 5, 24, 25, 5, 24. It's almost the same trade. So someone, I don't know, maybe it's an algo or something, I really don't know, but it's trading the same, indicating until mid of September he is looking to see a price below of 24k. 24, now here 24.5, 24, 25, okay, and that's it. Everything else looks, it's mainly retail. We are talking about $330 in premium, so that's almost it. So they are more have more a tendency to be bearish, indicating they would expect to see a break of 21 or even a break of 24 in the next weeks. The bear diagonal spread with puts is the next one, where we see that we have here also 21, 24, 21, 24, 21, 24 until end of the year. They expect to see a price below 21k. It is possible, if we really don't bounce hard in my bitchy trend line, that it sent us back hitting 20k, and be careful that it holds. If we receive any fucking bad news related to spot ETF applications, I mean, just imagine if it's right that Binance have liquidity problems and that they were using BNB, for example, to maintain and to survive this bear market. If we go even more down and BNB decline even more, and because they are still below of the key level of 230 now, we can check that because I have them here. Yeah, 218, but just imagine it goes down to 180, 150, and it maintains there for weeks or even months. That could be a big problem for Binance. A big problem. And you can see they are using futures and spot to push up, but someone is using BNB to short. So, well, back to options. If we go to short risk reversal is like a future short, but just based with options. And we have here an expiry for December 29th. And he is just saying we will, until end of the year, we will see a price of 24k, and his liquidation level will be 30k. So only if we break 30k or we hit 30k, he is not going to close his position until December 29th. He will be liquidated. But once again, I mean, it's not huge, because you can see he sold for 133, those called 30k. He both put 24k for 146. But yeah, so it's not bullish at all. That's it. So once again, what we are seeing here, it's also very interesting. I mean, we know that BTC USDT pairs are the king, are those who are really moving the market due its volume. We are talking, you can see here in the scale, that's BTC USDT on Binance. We are talking here about hundreds of millions. We see BUSD, we are talking here just about few millions. We see here BTC USD, so directly with fiat. We are not talking about hundreds of millions, but it's the second big one, at least here on my chart. So why I'm saying that, it really matches to what Skew52, for example, on Twitter. I really like this guy. He is just very consistent in the quality of the data that he is providing and sharing. And he is always saying they are selling spot, they are pushing up with futures. And that's just distribution. That's just an indication of big distribution. And it seems that's what's happening at the moment. Also here it matches very well. You can see that even on Binance, and that's only Binance BTC USDT, it's doing exactly the same like the aggregated BTC USDT pair spot. That's only spot. Only those two here are futures. So it's indicating they are still in distribution. They are still distributing. The only thing what they are using here is, for example, BUSD, USD, and Bitcoin collateral futures to maintain the price. But BTC USDT and stablecoin futures, if you check here, you can see that is just for fun, we are going just to unselect everything that's not USDT. So, and it's exactly doing the same here. But then you will also see the push up here was mainly triggered by futures and not by spot. It was just supported a little bit by spot, but it was pure. And that's distribution. They are just triggering the hope of bullish sentiment to sell on them. And that's the only thing what they are doing. And obviously with success. So if we go forward, we see now BTC-TUSD, even BTC-TUSD is more in distribution. It's almost following the aggregated. It's even a little bit more bearish than the aggregated. Now BUSD, as just mentioned before, it's pushing up. Now we are talking about Bitfinex. Look what Bitfinex is doing. I mean, they started to push up here and they are distributing, then lifting up a little bit and distributing even more here. Bitget. I mean, we are talking about CBD. I mean, it's also an indication they are selling more than buying. If we check here, that's Coinbase. It's the opposite. They are buying more than selling, but they stopped to buy. They stopped. They are lifting up a little bit, but they just stopped. They just started its reversal August 22 until, yeah, 3-4 days later. And we need to be extremely careful with Coinbase. It wouldn't be the first time they buy to dump afterwards. Bitstamp lifting up, but it's not big at all. Kraken, usually all these are doing exactly the same. Sorry, that's the wrong setup. We see also Gemini, but Gemini it's not moving the market at all. But you see what they are doing. It's looking similar, a little bit similar to Coinbase. And then we have here once again spot perp derivative, and right now derivative is indicating we are above of the POC. That's volume profile. We have here a POC, we have another POC just at 26,440. So usually we can go down to 26 and push up to 26,440. You remember I just said 26,500 or something, to go down or even to break to the upside and go more up. At the moment, it wouldn't be triggered by futures collateral, or by stablecoin futures by stablecoin collateral futures. While you can see that Bitcoin collateral futures, yeah, well, it looks like now they are pushing up. It's not the same with stablecoins, and you can see also here we are talking here. Well, that's Bitcoins and that's US dollars. Let me see. Can I change that? Yeah, convert. Is that also? Yeah, that's USD anyway. You can see here 840 millions, 800 million, 760, and we are talking here about billions. Stablecoin collateral futures are thinking on the futures system. Funding rates last 8 hours, a little bit more positive, a little bit more positive, a little bit more positive. So just indicating they are just, at least with stable coins, they are just demanding a little bit more longs, while on Bitget, Bitcoin collateral, demanding more shorts. On BitMEX, demanding more shorts. Even on Kraken, it seems, demanding more shorts. Only on Binance, demanding more longs. If we go here, that's a nice overview about the futures market. We can see here Bitcoin collateral. Market cap 508 billion. Volume 11 billion in the last 24 hours. Open interest 7.8 billion. Open interest change just 1.6%. Open interest share, okay, 27. Volume, it's funding rate average, it's almost neutral. That was the former funding rate average. It was just, so they are demanding more shorts, it seems, and the liquidations of the last 24 hours was 6.6 millions. So absolutely not big at all. So the market is indicating to be very quiet at the moment, while you can see the liquidation on Ethereum was much bigger. And also here they are demanding more shorts at the moment. That's a delta between both. If you see, it was higher and it's declining, so they are demanding more shorts at the moment, like here. Yeah, we need to see. But that's crazy. If you see, we have here an open interest of 7.8 billion and here only 4 billion, but we have bigger liquidations. In my opinion, it means the leverage ratio on Ethereum futures were just higher. Ape coin, ape coin, and well, it's I really like Coinalyze. It's really a nice platform. So let us go forward. We can check here. Can we 8 hours? Can we? Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Yeah, it takes some time. I don't know, sometimes it works very quick, sometimes not. We can see here minus outflows, it's declining, so also not really bringing any pressure. We can see that fund holdings are also declining, so they are selling more bitcoins at the moment. We can see that future market is lifting up, spot market is volume is declining, something we have seen just in the beginning. And that's almost it. And here nothing is happening. Why not? Why not? Oh no, they have a lack of data again. Okay, so let us go forward. So now we will check the liquidity of our order books as well of the different exchanges. We start with Coinbase. I'm just taking this time 12 hours time frame. We see that they started to bring more liquidity at 22,550, for example. They reduced a little bit at 23,500. Also here reinforced 24,600. And they started to protect, for example, 28. You remember 27.5, so it would make sense to push up a little bit and then go down hard. It's absolutely possible. I'm using the larger time frame now to have a better overview. So if we check here, almost the same. Bitstamp. On Bitstamp, they reduced a lot of sell orders. Instead, they are bringing more liquidity to the downside, even below of 20k. Here, for example, a lot of 80k, 20k, and the magic 23k, where I think we should make a visit, well, soon. What is soon, right? Here on Binance, also looking relatively the same. Let me take this out. We see that we don't have a lot of liquidity just here, for example, at 26,700, where we have some liquidity, even a little bit more up, but nothing big. I mean, we are talking here about 770 bitcoins. We are talking about BTC USDT, but to the downside, we have here, for example, if we check 2000, we have here 600 bitcoins, another 600 bitcoins here, and so on and so forth. So they are bringing some liquidity here. Usually that could be an indication, hey, enough, let us push up first and then we can go down. But also bringing some liquidity here, for example, to 75, to 16.5. Obviously we need to be very careful with spoofing. Now BTC TUSD. On BTC TUSD, for example, it looks a little bit different. Yeah, we have some liquidity between 25.2, but we have also sell orders, for example, at 27, almost 28. So it seems we should go a little bit more up, hitting 28 or 27.5, whatever. So it would be absolutely possible. Then BTC BUSD, if you check here, BUSD, you can see it looks like DCA strategy, like let us push the price down while we can buy more, bring more liquidity even at 17k. Yeah, and some sell orders at 29 and above. So, but nothing big. Bitfinex, BTC USD, also very interesting. You can see that they removed all the liquidity here, and now they are waiting at 20 and below. And that's also something very strange, to be honest, while a lot of sell orders above of 30k. So if we now go to the next one, OKEX spot, for example, nothing. Kraken, only 24. Also here, whatever that was, I don't like algos. BTC USDT on KuCoin, they are here, for example, bringing some liquidity at 25 or even a little bit lower, 24.7. BitMEX still maintaining 25.2, but that's it. Yeah, that's it. Then some liquidity at 23.6. And now derivatives, Bitget derivatives, BTC USD, for example. So Bitget derivatives, BTC USD, by the way, always check here, that's the CBD. That's always the CBD, cumulative volume delta. So it's, if it goes up, means they are demanding more longs or buying more longs. If it's go down, indicating they are selling more shorts. So, but at the moment, it seems they are just buying more longs at the moment. That is BTC USD, BTC USD on Bitget derivatives. Now BTC USDT on Bitget derivatives, where they are just selling more shorts. BTC USDT, you can see both sides looking great. So we have, for example, here at 25.5. Liquidity waiting too long, and we have a 26.8 liquidity to go short. But yeah, if we check that here, it's indicating between 27.5 and 24.8. It's more in favor of to go long than to go short. So more liquidity, more money waiting to go short here than to go long here than to go short here. But not always it works, as you can see in what happened here, because they were just trying to to defend a little bit the levels, but the spot selling was that big that they couldn't. And usually when I see such a price move, usually I think, okay, it's just a matter of time that it will go a little bit more up, then break to the downside, and that's it. But I guess they will just go up, maybe hitting 27.6 or a little bit higher, and then go down. Now BTC BUSD, that's perp. That's now everything perp. Nothing, really nothing. Now Bitfinex derivatives, usually also nothing. It's pure, as you can see, it's shit. It's only just algo shit. Kraken futures, nothing. OKEX futures, only here a little bit at 24. KuCoin futures, too short at 27.5 and too long at 21.5. And Deribit. And Deribit also here, for example, you can see that they have a lot of liquidity to short here, a lot of liquidity to long here. And we are talking between 21 and 22, or here between 27 and 28. So if it works like Inspo thinks, that could happen. And that's, by the way, matches very well to what Q52 just said, and I retweeted him because, yeah, it matches very well. So that's it. So as mentioned, I'm not going to make any personal conclusion now every single time, because that's not what I want. I just want to provide you the data. You can make your own interpretation without, to receive my interpretation at the same time, because I think it can influence you. If I see something solid, and sometimes obviously I have some experience that I can share with you and say, look, when the option traders are making something like this and the futures, then at the moment 27.5 push up and then go down to 22, 23 would be a very solid way. But on Binance we have much more longs than shorts. Bitfinex is getting more shorts than longs. So obviously it's not easy to tell. I guess it could be a nice trade to make, just to try to catch the swing up and then down. But it's really hard, and I don't want to influence you in any way. So make your personal conclusion. We have the trend line here. It's indicating 22,800. Here's 27.5, so to push up and to go down. We don't know how much time it could take, for example, but if it takes more time and more time and more time, lower we will dump afterwards, if we are going to to go back to the Bitget trend line, something that I think it will happen. That's it. We will hear us next Wednesday. Big love. Your Inspo.